So you have big fancy oil cooler and the radiator, and then you've done a bunch of work on the front of the bike too. Like I noticed that you 3D print these. Is that the fairing brackets?
We've been doing that. We've been doing that for the last couple of years. Yeah, because we can change the design of it, the intake size pretty quickly.
Okay.
Although it takes a while to print, but the design time is very low.
Like, how long does it take to print a ram air tube, for instance? Just out of curiosity.
All day.
It takes all day.
All day.
Holy crap, man. Now, I'm noticing, I'm seeing some different colored paint up front, and I'm seeing you have your triple clamps here.
Yeah, this one might be a little easier to see because it's not painted.
Okay.
But let's go around this side.
Oh, let's go around this side.
So we can get a picture of Robbie's shiny face. His red face.
Oh, I get him to smile every once in a while, too.
Yeah, it's rare. But so that's a new pinch design. So within the rules, we're allowed to oval, grind, bore the steering head to up to 5 millimeters forward and back on the bearing motion, top and bottom. Stuck this in our CNC, and then we machined it to accept this pinching clamp, and then we put it back in and then machined the bore again to make an oval insert to fit in there. Again, it's well within the rules, and it allows us to have a little more adjustability. Last year we were out of adjustment because the stock bore was relatively small. We didn't want to go with a really small bearing, so we kept the bearing size 30 millimeter, and in other words, for a 30 millimeter shaft, and we're able to get where we want to be by doing all the work with it.
That sounds like some MotoGP stuff, honestly.
Similar, yeah, pretty much. But they design a frame from scratch, and it's all billet also.
Right.
But the whole frame is billet and designed from scratch. So this is really.
And you've relocated the steering damper, right?
Yeah, off the side because we have pinch bolts down here also.
Okay.
You probably can't see it from here.
Right.
But it is a pinch. So we've lost the lug.
Oh,
that holds the damper underneath. I like the cross damper. It's a little more protected, but this does a good job as well. It just has a lot of torque on the damper, and so the damper is very strong, so we have to run it wide open pretty much.
Oh wow, okay.
The guys don't like a whole lot of damper.
Yeah, and then obviously we talked a little bit about the how you separated the tank and there's no subframe on this bike. But I don't know why. Tell me why you've done that.
Okay, so we'll go over here. So this is our tank subframe combo.
Okay.
It just makes servicing and crash repair that much better. So we have a whole nother unit like that sitting ready to go. And so the tail, the tank, everything's there. So if we have a crash, we just take that off, put it on there. One of the biggest things that gets broken in a crash, if the bike goes end over ends, is the tank might get scratched up and the tail gets busted up. So if you can't fix it real quickly in the pit, then like with just a seat, then you just take the tank off on. And also getting in there to do some maintenance on the motorcycle is very easy because the tank is basically a monocoque subframe.
Right. Yeah. And then I noticed that you have this cool stand that the thing rides on, because you can't just throw it on the floor.
No. Yeah, if you have a cool tank, you have to have a cool stand. It's mandatory. So not only do you have to build a tank, you got to build a stand also.
And how long does it take to build a tank, Richard?
More than one day.
Oh, more than a day.
Yes.
Wow. And how? And
some of it's CNC machined, and some of it's sheet metal. You can't tell because it's all been painted on, but the whole top of the tanks is billet.
Really?
Yeah, it's all CNC machined. The cap is integral with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why that guy screws right in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then there's some of the parts are formed. So there's a combination of formed and machined parts that make that fuel tank.
And you got that cool carbon fiber Acropovic.
Yeah. Yeah, muffler hanger. Yeah.
Muffler hanger.
Yeah, so they don't go off the peg bracket and World Superbike like they do on stock.
Right.
So they come off the subframe, and so yeah, that attaches to our sump on the end of that tank.
Right. On the tank, well, it's actually on the bike, but it hides under the tank. One of the guys earlier today came up and was asking me about what this little choke does. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think that's the choke, dude.
No. So in this position, because ours is neutral up and then 6 down. So to get up to neutral, to roll the shift drum all the way to neutral, there's a pin you got to pull up, and that's a detent. That's a neutral detent lockout. It's
Okay.
called a neutral lockout.
Okay.
So when you're in the up position, we say thumbs up, meaning race position. They can't go back to neutral.
Okay.
So you can downshift all the way to first without having to jump over neutral. Neutral's been moved to the other side of first.
Yeah. Neutral's at the top.
At the very, very top. Yeah,
Neutral's at the
back
top, and you got 6 down.
6 down, yeah. And so when you put it this way, the mechanics can actually put it in neutral, or the rider comes in, puts it in neutral.
Okay.
So you can spin the tire, change the tire, and all that stuff.
Okay. That makes sense.
We had one of these cables break before in the race, so he had to hold the clutch in for the start. He couldn't put it in neutral, so he held the clutch the whole time, and then he went. And of course, you don't need neutral in the race.
Right.
So it was all good after that initial launch.
Right. I wanted to kind of shift back towards the wiring a little bit.
Yeah, we can go back over here and look.
Seeing an antenna sticking out of this bike.
Yeah, you want to see it over here?
Yeah.
Look at these guys can move for a second. Okay, so.
Yeah, so I see this antenna here, and it looks like you, oh wow, it says APR on that. You 3D printed this too, I see.
Yeah, this is our ECU compartment. And so this is a Borelli MLE 240 ECU that we use from World Superbike.
Okay.
And it basically slides in like a cassette into this unit. And before we had a harness here.
Right.
And a lot of connections. So what we did was we 3D printed a container. This and that allows us to run all the wires inside without having to heat shrink every bundle of wires. So they all go in here. They're all kind of free in here. And they'll connect to these connectors, and they'll connect to another box of similar design, which has all the inputs for the various.
Yeah, like this one here is the data port,
That's
right?
the data port, yeah.
Okay.
So it comes in, so it has all the inputs for the various sensors. And these are the subframe brackets here.
Yeah. So you guys make these in-house, obviously?
Yeah, everything Billet we make in-house.
This looks very Attack Gold.
Aero hard, yeah. Yeah, it's basically a 7000 series aluminum that gets cleared hard anodized, and that's the color, natural color of it once it gets hard anodized.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so that makes things. This antenna is for the TPMS. So this antenna gets information from the wheel sensors.
Wheel sensors, okay.
So we look at internal temperatures and pressures, and that allows us to tune the tire pressures to start with, to see what pressure is stable, how the riders like it. We can go up and down initially, and adjust how much we heat the tires or cool the tire, the rim temperature versus tire temperature.
Right.
And that helps us quite a bit with the tuning. So that's the antenna that records that. There's a little box in here which is programmable, a receiver, and that you tell it which wheels, so it doesn't get confused with Jake's wheels.
Oh, wow.
They're close enough together on the racetrack it'll actually pick up the other guy's wheels.
Oh.
Yeah, so you don't want to get that information. So you program each sensor to that box, so it's paired to that box.
And then I see the sticker thing on the cover here, a suitor clutch. You got a suitor clutch in this thing.
No, we only have a suitor sticker.
No, it's just a sticker, right?
We just put a sticker on
and
it.
you polish the stock case cover.
Yeah,
too, right?
that's a Billet stock case guard. And a suitor sticker.
Well, you got to have the factory. The stickers give you at least 5 horsepower, right?
Yes, there's all kinds. This is like 10 right here, and I think the Yamaha lube is like 20, and the big Yamaha on the bottom.
Well,
is
how much is the
150.
Podium Club sticker worth?
That's worth like 300 horsepower.
Oh, but of course it is.
But that's why we had to get the small one. The guys couldn't ride it when it had the big sticker on it.
Oh, the big sticker the thing got rowdy.
Yeah,
right.
it was unrideable. So we had to get a really small Podium Club sticker.
I'm looking at your exhaust system here, and I'm noticing that usually on bikes that have titanium exhaust, usually this is all like kind of a cool looking blue. It heats up in a blue.
We don't like cool colors.
You don't like cool colors?
No, we like new looking colors.
Yeah, how does it always look new? I mean, I've noticed that for a while.
This muffler itself, actually, believe it or not, it's got half a season worth of use on it.
What?
Yeah, because we did all 5 tests.
Okay.
Jake rode it sometimes. So let's say we did equivalent of 4 tests, and we did New Jersey. I think that was about it. So I think we have equivalent of about, very similar to about 6 events on it. And
it still looks like that.
Yeah, the reason why it looks like that is that's a ceramic coating that Akron put on the pipes. And the whole header system looks like that. If you get any kind of oil or rags, burns on whatever, you basically wipe it off.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn cool.
Well,
it's a special coating they do.
Looking at the exhaust system behind you, it looks like it's definitely routed differently than the stocker.
This one is a new exhaust system.
Yeah.
But yes, it's routed all on the left side.
Yeah.
And then it comes across. The reason for that is the oil pan.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, the oil pan.
Yes, that's a race kit oil pan. You buy it from us. We have
Attack Performance is the GYTR guys.
For the US, yes.
Right.
Yeah, they can get it elsewhere too, you know, from other world distributors,
right?
or wherever. But for the most part, we have that stuff in stock.
But why is that?
That's for better oiling, protection of the engine. Also adds a little bit of rigidity to the engine, because it's not a thin magnesium pan, it's a pretty burly aluminum pan, and so that adds a little bit of case rigidity to it for racing.
I really like the sound of having a burly oil pan.
Yeah. Well, it's a good place to put the weight, because when you put these bikes into race mode, they're very light.
Okay.
And so you have to put weight somewhere to make them get to weight, but it's a nice place to have it. It's the aluminum oil pan.
Yeah. Well, you know, going up the oil pan too, I'm seeing your swing arm pivot here, and I know you've made a modification to the swing arm pivot in the frame.
Yeah, frame's machined just like we do with the steering neck, and that gives us, as per rules, up and down 5 millimeters. We can go forward and back as well. So they give you some latitude in the rules to be able to machine it open, because it doesn't come with an adjustable swing arm pivot stock.
Right.
So we're able to modify the frame and then make our own inserts. And it also makes the inserts very easy, because they all slide out both sides, and you can do it really at the pit wall if you wanted to.
And you've done some of those swing arm modifications for other racers that are doing Superbike as well, right? On the R1?
Yes, yeah, all the Yamahas in our paddock have our frame in there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, as far as Superbike goes, I think, ADR bike has it. That's the bike they bought. I do believe they still run it. Superbike Unlimited is building bike. They got a frame from us with inserts. Flinders has our frame. The Westby guys had our frames as well.
Right on. I'm noticing your swing arm. Yeah, everybody talks about your swing arm.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a black sticker on it right now.
Yeah, it's a billet swing arm made from a proprietary aluminum that is
A proprietary aluminum.
Yeah, it's really good with certain characteristics. In other words, crack resistance, thread resilience, things like that. So it acts like a 7000 series type swing arm, but it's the bond strength of the welding. It's not the best in the world to put a nice looking bead on, but the bond strength is really, really good.
Yeah, we kind of poked fun at a guy on our podcast, right?
You know, if you're welding like 40-43 rod or 52-56 or something like that,
right?
You know, it's so easy. I mean, any moron can make a nice bead.
Oh man! Wow.
So I mean, you could say morons can weld, but if you start getting into some of these high-tech exotic aluminums,
right?
You know, you should be welding in probably something other than TIG, but TIG is still allowed, and it's just the flow of the rod is much more difficult.
Wow. Okay. Been making variations of the swing arm since 2018, right? Actually, the GP bike, the CRT bike,
the CRT bike had a billet swing arm. Actually, if you want to go back, the first billet swing arm we did was in 1993.
Really? You've been making swing arms for 30 years, dude?
More.
Wow.
Yeah. So we started by bracing those old Suzuki swing arms that had just the U shape. It was really a fork.
Yeah.
It's 2 legs that came straight back. So we're putting a brace on those things way back in the day.
I've got a buddy that talks about how you built a swing arm or something for his Cowie ZX7 back in the day.
Maybe we were doing it for everything. But so that got old, and we decided to make more CNC parts.
Yeah.
And to make a billet CNC swing arm, it's a pretty good investment in materials, raw materials. So you can buy, this material is not cheap. It's about 5 times to 8 times based on market availability of any other aluminum, even the 7000. Or if you had to build a swing arm out of 5000 or 6000 series, it'd be way cheaper. Like a price.
With this swing arm, just out of curiosity, how long does it take to make a swing arm? I know you got machine time and welding time and
design time. Yeah, it's hard to even add up. Just a lot. I mean, you bop around a bunch of different dimensions, thicknesses, internal bracing, all those things you have to do. FEA to test on the computer before you make one. Then you have to go to the track and test it. Right. Before you actually have a successful. To find the settings that work for that swing arm.
This is what, the 4th or 5th generation of this particular model?
Depends if you go back to CRT days or not, but let's say for the R1, that would be 1, 2, 5th generation.
5th generation. Yeah, I've noticed at the test before we graphic the swing arm up, I noticed this little area here. This looks like this looks kind of new to me. And they used to have a hole here that was just covered by a
that was
sticker?
about the third generation.
Okay.
The third generation had a hole there, and also then it got a carbon plate inside of it.
Yes.
Okay, so it was a little stiffener that was in there, and then it became, the hole was gone. And so if you hear this, it's pretty thin. And if you look at the thickness of this on top, you can see if you look straight down this way.
Oh wow. Yeah. It's really thick here, and then it's pretty thin down there.
And so the shape of this allows us to flex the swing arm in different locations. Different kind of feel, try to get as much grip as we can on the side of the tire. And then over here you can see this is the business end. This is the zero end, this is where the wheel zeros. And then the other side kind of moves in and out to tighten up. Yeah, so that is more like, that side keeps the wheel straight, and this side keeps the side-to-side rigid.
Okay.
And then both of them, because the swing arm's so tall, add rigidity this direction. And then you can play around with the length to improve or add rigidity, you know, or take away rigidity.
Am I crazy to think that it just seems like the bike's getting longer?
All the bikes are getting a little bit longer, and so the trick is how to keep the bike, because I mean it's no secret that if you make a drag bike, you're going to accelerate harder.
Right.
Look how long a drag bike is, right? But drag bikes don't turn, so that's the secret. How to keep it turning.
You're trying to make a drag bike turn.
Yes.
Oh.
Basically, that's like MotoGP.
Okay.
You see how long and low they are. You know, they squat on the exits. They're super low.
Yeah.
When they're launching the bike, they look like a complete drag bike, like a pro stock bike.
Yeah.
And then they pop up in the air when they go around the corner.
Right.
So they take the best of both worlds. So it's even more difficult in superbikes because you don't have those toys to play with. Yeah, like MotoGP does. So you have to see, okay, can you make a tall bike? Can you put the pivot in the right spot? Can you make the anti-squat right? Maybe the tall bike isn't good because the braking doesn't work. So, or the balance of the bike changes. You can't just go and make the bike long for no reason.
Right.
Because then the engine's just hanging over the front of the tire. So then you have to think about the steering head angle and where the balance point is, the center of gravity is.
And I see that you've got what looks like a braking rotor on the rear as well.
Yeah, that's a braking rotor, one they made to our spec.
And a underslung Brembo rear caliper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a 4-piston, or is that 2-piston? That's a 4-piston. Yeah, same like MotoGP spec caliper, World Superbike spec caliper.
Yeah, and you're using your made in-house Attack Performance rear lifters.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or lift mounts.
Lift mounts, yeah.
Lift mounts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys really race what you sell. I mean, I see a lot of your components that you sell to the public.
That's
obviously, this one looks a little different because it's missing the brake lever.
Yeah, so
but
we got rid of the foot lever. We could have left it there, but sometimes the riders have a habit of leaning on it.
Right. Well, they're dirt bike guys, right?
Yeah,
so
they all start off as dirt bike guys, it seems like, and they like to just hang on that rear brake, and it slows the bike down on straightaway.
Yeah.
So, but we like them to use it in certain areas.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've gone to a finger lever, like a bicycle lever, and that's what this thing is over here. So they're able to.
Are you 3D printing this lever too?
Yeah, so the lever, because we tried a bunch of different shapes. So before you go to billet, you 3D print it, and then we 3D printed it out of a different type of high temperature material.
Right.
And it was rigid enough to where we're like, you know what, that's pretty good. I don't think we need to make a billet part.
So it's like you turned your rapid prototype into the production all in the same.
I tell you, there's nothing rapid about 3D printing. The only thing rapid about it is the design to product. If you take that window of time, but actually making these things, if we had to make it to sell, they'd all be billet.
Yeah.
You could make this lever way faster in a machine. Little stuff like this, maybe not so bad, but let's say that intake tube, if you laid it out in carbon, you're gonna make like, 1,000 of them, you wouldn't be 3D printing them. You'd be there for 1,000 years.
What's left of the bike that I can go out and buy? Like I go out and buy my new R1, right? From the dealership. Like there's not it seems like basically the main part of the main frame and the engine is.
Well, the engine is relatively OEM.
Yeah.
So the crankshaft is OEM, the rods are OEM, the pistons are OEM, the rings are OEM, transmission shafts are OEM, the transmission gears are not. That was new last year. We were able to pick our own ratios for the whole season.
Okay.
So we get our own personal ratios made of Nova. So we have a Nova transmission, and then the shift drum is a Nova shift drum with a lockout that we also import. But yeah,
So
for the most part, the
import
engine
it
is,
so customers can buy that from Attack Performance?
yes, if they want to get a Nova shift drum, we have a couple in stock. And
Interesting.
we got it to work with the OEM stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
Oh, you got the Nova transmission to work with the OEM?
with the OEM electronics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's the kit electronics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it actually works out. It just you have to do a little bit of trickery with the launch stuff. You have to tell it you're in neutral when you're not.
Oh, okay.
You know, it reads properly, but first, second, third, so all the gears work. But you have to wire like a little neutral button so you can tell the electronics I'm in neutral, and then you can launch. So put the thing in launch mode. Otherwise, you can't put it in launch mode. It doesn't know. It only let you put it in launch mode neutral. On our bikes, it's Morelli. You can put it in launch mode first, 5th, 10th. It doesn't matter.
So then, I guess the last thing is.
Any more nerdy questions?
I don't think I have any nerdy questions really.
Yeah, but they're actually pretty smart questions. You must be getting smarter. Must be rubbing off hanging out with the team.
Oh, God damn it.
Because you were dumb as a box of rocks before.
You know what? I'm still dumb as a box of rocks, okay? Like, come on. Don't insult me like that. Don't call me a nerd.
Making faces.
All right, so tell me a little about the Smurf Blue that we've got here.
Smurf Blue? Where's Derek? He's a product guy around here. We're at Yamaha US in Georgia, and he's calling their fabulous blue.
It's Smurf Blue. It looks pretty Smurfy to me, bro.
I don't know. It's the new stripe. Actually, the riders liked it, and the team likes it, and we're going with it.
Yeah,
it's what the OEM bike.
I think
comes
it
with.
looks badass. So this is what is this?
Oh, this is our water pipe that MB makes. That for that oil cooler, the fitting goes right here, so they have to zigzag around it, and it comes back around and fits into the water pump that feeds the water into the cylinder. Yeah.
Wow, it's like all they even stamped their branding.
Yeah, it's all formed and funky and zigzag.
It's a squiggly funnel.
Squiggly
hose.
pipe.